We're here with Golden State Warriors All-Star, Kevin Durant, KD, man. Thanks for being our first guest on this podcast.
No doubt.
Man, walk me by where you're at, like, in life, man. Like, when you think about you came to Golden State, you wanted some things you wanted to accomplish, and you've accomplished a lot on the court, a lot off the court for sure. What makes KD happy right now?
Just knowing that I can get up and go to work and not worry about anything else. My family's taken care of. My business off the floor is taken care of. I got people that I trust that's handling my money. My relationships with my friends and families, I've created great boundaries so we kind of know what this whole thing is. I'm at the top of my game. I feel like my game is sharpened to a point where I've mastered what I want to be as a basketball player. Now I can totally focus on, without any distractions, on seeing how I can be as the best player I can be now. And I've removed so many different distractions from my life, my personal life, my professional life, things that I was worrying about before that doesn't even really matter to me right now. So it's just more so focusing on being the best basketball player I can be.
What were a lot of young players do deal with not being able to handle distractions, and it's tough to, because sometimes you have people in your circle who've been there, your whole life, and it's hard to weed them out. When did you get to a point in your life where that was kind of when you felt like that was the right move to make?
I want to say like a year before I got to the Warriors. It's pretty recent. I got hurt, so everything kind of stopped for me, and I had to look at things from a different perspective, more so as just a man, more so than just a basketball player. So a lot of relationships I had to clean up myself. That I empowered people to, feel like they had a position in my life because I was just so open and I stretched myself so far. As a person, I had so many friends and family that I felt like was a part of this whole life. And as you get older and start to really know that your time is sacred, your sanctuary is what you want it to be. You tend to set up those boundaries, and if people don't really they can't comprehend or they don't understand what you're going through, then that's your time to really rid yourself of that problem. And I think a lot of people in my life they understood what I was going through and what I wanted out of this whole thing, and it was able to make me a better basketball player, and it had me focus on what's the most important thing, is just getting up and working every single day and being the best teammate and player I can be.
I mean, you bring up all of those things, and covering you, KD, like, you're a complex person. Like, you're a complex person, and it's like it takes, I know you weed out all the bullshit. Like, you can, like, scope people. You got a good gauge on certain individuals. But for you, it's like, especially for people looking afar, like, you're hard to read. Is that a guardedness that you carry around, or is that just you? That's your aura?
Nah, when you first got here, I was just open and honest with you. If I've known you for the longest, along with a lot of other media members. And
but you wasn't that way in OKC.
I was, but it wasn't. Instead of me sitting down talking to you for 20 minutes, somebody might have pulled me after the first 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like I never got as deep as I wanted to with people in OKC, because it was more so of an environment that was shielding us from that, and wanted us to kind of just focus on being basketball players. But as you grow older and you kind of know what your rhythm is, and you feel more confident in speaking up and just being yourself in this environment, that stuff is cool to me, talking to you guys, seeing it from a different perspective, just seeing what the media sees, the fans sees, my coaches, just being curious. I think that was more so than anything, just asking questions that I didn't ask before. And I feel like I've always been that way, but I'm more open to saying it now. I'm questioning people now, and I think that's why a lot of stuff I might seem complex, or people might not understand, because instead of just being, all right, cool, you guys will do that, I'm like, why are you doing this? Mm-hmm. Like, somebody tell me what's going on here, and I'm just more curious about life at this point. And some things you just can't question, I guess, to other people. But for me, I'm just like, why not? So.
What do you get an understanding? Because me and you talk about, you'll tell me like, why are you writing that?
Mm.
Why are you focusing on that? Do you get an understanding, or you still don't?
Yeah, I get it. And then when we talk, it's always about, this is just how the flow of my job is and my life is, and this is stuff that I have to do. And I'm like, and it's just a bigger problem. Not a problem. It's more of a bigger issue than, me asking you like, why do you have to do this? It's like, what's been going on for so long? And it just takes me back to, what goes on in our country as well, what goes on in our communities. It's just problems that we have for years and years, and we continue to stack them up, sweep them under the rug. And they still problems that's there, but at some point all that stuff is going to boil over. And so I just wonder like why people do the same stuff over and over again and want different results. And I think that's just insane to me. And we see it every day, especially when you're in a profession that is watched by so many people. So like I said, I just got so many different questions when stuff arises, and people may look at it as a insecurity or sensitivity, or I just look at it as curiosity.
You look at, sometimes like when you covering you and covering LeBron, you guys you're different because it depends on the mood you guys in. It's like if you're in a certain mood, the whole locker room feels it. Like, you guys have a certain aura and a walk to you guys. So when there is a situation where there's controversy around, things are being said, what is your mindset at that time? Like, do you feel like you need to shut everybody out? Because me and you, we'll get into it. People don't know, like you'll cuss me out or say something, and I'll be like, all right, I'll give you a space. I'll holler at you tomorrow, something like that. I'll take it personal, but that's just how, like, what type of mindset are you in at that moment?
I'm an artist, man. I look at this as an art, and I come to work every day and paint a picture for myself. And if I see somebody just trying to get in my way of that, that's what frustrates me. And sometimes I got to take a second to kind of gather my thoughts and see what this is really all about, and there's a lot of stuff I disagree with when it comes to the distractions and the people that come around the game that really don't love it as much as I do. I think that's what gets me frustrated more so than anything. And I see it a lot in media members. I see a lot in fans and just the talking heads of the game. And I also see it with a lot of players as well. And that's the thing that when you so stuck in the moment and you realize that, all right, somebody's trying to get me to say this, or somebody wants to talk about something that has nothing to do with basketball, or I know this person in here trying to find dirt. Like, me as somebody that just loves to play, that loves to work on and master my game, is just like, why are you here? You know what I'm saying? Like, why do you feel the need to be a part of this when you really don't care? It's all about how you can become popular, how you can make some money. And that's when you see my moods change sometimes, or I don't feel like talking to anybody unless it's just the people on the team. You know what I'm saying? Or like, I don't want to be in this environment no more. Let me go get on the bus. Like, that stuff, I gotta do a better job of, like, I don't know. I just feel like I gotta do a better job of just pushing through that. But sometimes I get a little frustrated, and I try to just eliminate all of that stuff, from my brain and from my presence, and try to do my own thing. And it looks like I'm in a shell, I'm not talking to anybody, or I'm just trying to, like, find a pure side of everything in life as much as I can.
You talk about, we have numerous conversations. You talk to other people about this as well, is that you get fatigued with people writing about the things that's beyond the basketball court. I talk to you sometimes about that too, and I tell you, I work for a couple publications over this time. KD, I'm waiting on this story to break.
See, exactly.
I'm waiting. Maybe the break while you're here.
We're doing a podcast right now.
Maybe a break while you're here.
And Got your phone running off because you're trying to break a story.
Maybe. Hey, so what you guys say about that,
Get
man?
your paper.
Hey, man.
Go get your paper.
That. I appreciate that.
I get it.
There ain't nothing going on. But you know, you talk about the purity, and there's some times where there's some stories I don't want to write about.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I know how you are. I know how other players are. Like once you ask that, you know, and it puts us in a tough situation. But that's part of it. Do you understand why? I guess there's such a fascination with players beyond the court, like if that pertains to their lifestyle, their relationships, and things like that, or is that just something? Or do you feel like there's still a place where we should still be talking strictly about the game?
I just feel like players are not going to give you everything that you want, first of all, when it comes to the personal side or like the shit that you're looking for. Like, they're not going to go all the way. You know, they might give you 70% of it, and then you're going to have to fill in the blanks. Mm-hmm. But, like, the filling in the blanks, like, that's when y'all just take your imagination and just run with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, like the incident with me and Draymond, it's just like so many people try to fill in the blanks of what was KD thinking? What was Draymond thinking? What was Steve thinking? It's like, no, that is just your opinion. Mm-hmm. That is all speculation. You have no clue what was said. You don't have any clue unless somebody told you. But, like, before that, like, nobody had any clue what goes on in the locker room with these players or behind the scenes. It's just all speculation, or you're trying to get sources. But, like, it's just like, man, unless you know 100%, like, don't even try. Like, I understand you got a job and you want to be the first to break a story, or you want to be, like, the guy that, like, Chris Haynes, according to Chris Broussard, like, you want that. I know that's what you need as a reporter to kind of, like, push you to that next level. But, like, there's no more truth out here, and that's not just in basketball. That's just in all. That's just across, like, you know, just humanity. There's no more truth. Everybody wants to create a narrative or push a story for their benefit. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, nah, man. There's so much good stuff going on out here, especially within the framework of just basketball in general. You see so many great young players stepping up this year, having great seasons. Let's see what these guys are about. Let's go down and talk about what's going on with basketball first. And then obviously you're going to have the other stuff that comes with it, a teammate feuding or GM and a coach going out. Like, that stuff I get, but, like, trying to find stuff and trying to create stuff out of the thin air is like, come on, man.
But you know, when it comes to yourself, LeBron,
I get it.
You know, it's different. You know, no disrespect, but nobody's checking in really on, like, what Patrick McCall is doing right now. You know what I mean? Like, what's that situation playing out? This is KD. This is arguably the, you know, one of the best teams ever put together. And there's eyeballs. Is there, okay, as a reporter, so I'm giving people a little insight, just the reporter-player relationship. As a reporter, is there a fine line, or is there an appropriate way to seek information without being too intrusive with what you guys want to keep ultimately private? Is there a certain way of doing it?
I don't know. I mean, it's just hard to talk about. I mean, obviously, because the way stuff been going on for so long, and there's a certain way you do things. And it's been, like I said, been going on for so long. I mean, if you build with a player, obviously, we built a relationship over the last few years where you trust me with stuff, I trust you with stuff, and we talk as men. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what the relationship should be like. You know what I'm saying? I'm not asking you to I'm not saying that every player should have these relationships, but it's just like, if you're a reporter, like, I'm not telling you how you should do your job, but I'm like, as a person coming into this world, like, the speculation and opinion, like, if you that close, I don't understand it.
Yeah, you shouldn't, if you're that close, you shouldn't be speculating. You should.
Yeah, it's just like, why are you, like, you get a up close and personal look at the player. So, I mean, we can go on and on about this. I'd rather talk about basketball. I'd rather talk about the beauty that comes out of it. But obviously, you know, I feel like the media game is cool. It's definitely bringing more eyes to our game, but I feel like it can be controlled a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? It's just so sloppy. It's just so opinionated, and I think it's a crab in the barrel mentality. I feel like everybody's trying to figure out the way to make the most money as a reporter and to be the most famous. And I think that's not the great approach.
I agree with you. If that's
my
strictly,
whole spiel on it.
Yeah, no, I agree. If that's strictly the mindset of
and I feel like that's a mindset of a lot of your peers, and I'm sure you know it too.
Yeah, I'm not doubting you there. Mm-hmm. I'm not doubting you there.
Just like I feel like it's the same for a lot of my peers, want to be famous and want to be seen. I mean, it's the fact that we make a lot of money and there's a lot of eyes on us, and it's hard for us to stay true to what we got into this for. I get it.
You brought it up. How do you feel the media handled you in the Draymond situation?
It happened so fast. I feel like, I mean, obviously you had to, find as much as you can in a few hours to break that story or to be up in the loop. So I just felt like it was so many people in the media that were talking for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, I haven't really said anything to nobody about this, nor did I even start this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I feel like a lot of people was talking about me, talking for me, and then flipping it back to the summer, what I'm going to do in free agency, when this was not even a topic of discussion like this before this happened. So I'm just like, you just need it. That's why I'm like, you just wanted something like this to happen so you could talk about what you really want to talk about. It's too boring for a lot of reporters. That's why I'm like, come on, man. What are you in it for?
I get that. But it was also the way it was done, the way it was handled. It all pointed to whatever decision you have to make 5 or 6 months from now. You know, I mean, you look back, obviously. Are you over that situation?
Yeah.
You over that? Mm-hmm. Everything's cool in that regard? When you look back, maybe I was one of them, speaking for you, because I wasn't there.
Yeah, you were. A lot of people was trying to psychoanalyze me and tell people what I was thinking.
You posted that. You posted that on the
ground. Why? You don't talk to me. People don't even take the time to get to know what I'm thinking. So why would you just write that?
Because
that's irresponsible.
It's irresponsible. But I have a good gauge on you.
Yeah, but I'm not going around saying this to another guy like, yo, Chris went through something. I know he was thinking. Like, nah, I'm not going to sit there and tell somebody else that or tell the world that when you haven't really talked to me about it. No. And even if you did talk to me about it and I told you in confidence, I wouldn't expect you to write a story about it.
That's real.
That's just real integrity that I have, that I feel that people should have. Not forget the titles. That's just about like how humans should treat each other. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So at this point, I'm like, you got to write this for your bosses and you got to do this you got to turn this in for certain deadlines. And I get it, but like, stop speaking for me. Like, you don't care about how I feel first off. You just want to write your story. And I get it, but stop speaking for me. Like, you got your own perspective. I get that, but don't frame it as if it's coming from me.
And see, this is where me and you have these back and forth. Because I ask you, things about basketball, and you'll show me, like we had a conversation about ball movement, and if a roster's depleted, does ball movement is it still as effective as it is if your roster? But we'll get to that. But getting back to this, so if you're in my situation, KD, I'm getting on TV, I'm being asked this question. I'm being asked this. And you're saying don't speak on it. And all I can do is just go off of the background, go off of, go in context and understanding how a person is made up and what makes them tick and what not. And all I can do is give my best summary of how this situation may be playing out. So it's not necessarily I'm trying to speak for you or everybody else. We're trying to give our.
But you gotta know that you adding fuel to the fire instead of trying to put the fire out. So like, what are you doing when you're in that position? Are you trying to like add on to like, damn, I wonder, like this could be bigger than what it is, or
no,
are
it's
you
not
like
that. But we getting asked these questions. We coming on these platforms getting asked these questions like what? Chris,
it's hard for y'all. I get it. It's hard. It's hard for you to. It's hard. I get that your job is tough, especially when you be put on the spot like that. But I just don't agree with how y'all do it. That's it.
I just seen when I look at that situation, I just look at because I know you were strictly coming from a basketball standpoint, whatever said you came from basketball, then it got ugly. And so all most of us see from that, it just turned from an ugly place that began with just two competitors talking about ball. And that's how the whole thing went haywire. And
then it turned into a word like KD's going this place. He don't like the Warriors no more. KD should go here. He should go there if he stayed. Like, just more distractions.
But that's what I'm talking about when I talk about you and LeBron. It's that you guys is the way you guys move and walk and how you guys act. Once you hit the room, how people can feel. Like, after that incident, you got to admit, KD, you wasn't the same.
I wasn't with nobody.
That's what I'm saying. You wasn't the same. So people feel that. Like, people on edge, walking on eggshells, like, okay, what is it? And then not just us, teammates feel it as well. We knew it was something up. And so it's like, that's why people start to read, like, you arguably will be the, not argue, but you'll be the top free agent on the board. Everybody wants, like, I got all type of calls from teams, trying to get information. Like, are they breaking up? Are they disintegrating from inside? Like, people want to see this thing blown up. So that's why it's such a big deal.
My whole thing is, like, I didn't create any of this.
I understand.
That's just my whole thing.
I understand.
I was just playing basketball. Now I got to answer questions. Now I got to talk about this. Now I got to feel it way when I was in a great zone playing basketball. And I know what's coming. You know what I'm saying? I know if I say, no, I'm not talking about this at the moment, then y'all going to move on from it. But
yeah, I
feel like now, it's going to always come back. It's always be like, are they all right?
Because
like, is KD damn, he ain't play well tonight. Is he gonna leave?
Yeah.
Why do I even have to think about that at this point?
You shouldn't have. You shouldn't have to.
And that's my problem. Like, we think that's okay. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, as a culture of NBA play, like just NBA, the NBA culture, whoever's in it, from fans, the media, the players, to GM, like, we think that's all right. No basketball is meant for us to be. We got to continue to learn the game, no matter what level we make it to. We got to continue to learn how to be better teammates, better players, just better men overall as we going through this game. Like, why do we got to deal with the bullshit like that when we trying to grow as men, as players, as teammates, as GMs, as coaches? Like, we in this for a purpose. We're not in it just to be here. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? That's my whole thing. Like, we got a real purpose bigger than ourselves, no matter what team you play on, no matter what your record is, no matter what you've been through. If you're in this culture, if you're playing in it every single day, you got a purpose. You got a job to do that's bigger than yourself. So why are we having to focus on shit that doesn't really matter at the end of the day?
Well, I know that's what a lot of Warrior fans want to hear, is that little shit doesn't matter, that happened. Like, it's safe to say that won't have any bearing on whatever decision you make in the future.
Nah.
Okay.
Nah, because at the end of the day, like, I'm just a ball player that's just trying to be in a great environment to play basketball, to grow my skills every day. And I want to compete at a level once the games start where I'm just totally comfortable with my surroundings, with just going out there and being me. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing I focus on. I tend to focus on. That's what I want to focus on. But you got so much BS that's being thrown your way, like, that I didn't create. If I created all of this stuff, then I can't be out here talking like this. But I didn't create any of this.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm just out here playing. Every time I say something, every time I speak my mind or be as truthful as I can, is more stories from all of these butthurt media guys that are fanboys or whoever it is that feel like I'm a threat. You get what I'm saying? Like, no, why is it a problem that I can speak my mind? Like, I just want to be me in my environment without motherfuckers, excuse my language, having to worry about what I got to do. You know what I'm saying? I understand my talent brings people in, but, like, at least let me be me instead of telling me what I should be like.
What you should be like. Well, that's what you got. That's what you got. Okay, it was all about people dissecting what you did and how you handled it in the aftermath, because that played a part as well.
How did I handle it?
Hey man, it was.
What did I do wrong?
I didn't say you did anything wrong, but it didn't kill it. It didn't kill the talk afterwards. Like, so your first press conference was, I think somebody asked you a question like, do you think it was right that Draymond got suspended? And then you were like, I really don't care.
I did not.
Everybody looked like, what? We looking at him like, what is it? I really don't care.
Tell me what I'm supposed to say in my interview. Tell me. That way I don't even have to do them no more. So y'all can just say what y'all want me to say. And y'all speak on my behalf again. Tell me what I'm supposed to say.
All right, KD, I'm doing this live. So this a little minor story. Have you heard about your fine?
Mm-mm.
You want to know now? Or you want to?
I knew I was gonna get fined. How much they fined me?
$25,000. I reported it now. League sources tell Yahoo being fined $25,000 for
telling the fan to shut the f up and watch the game.
Yeah, I tell. So I just tweeted that out right now.
Yeah, it's more fans should understand what that means.
What happened with that, man?
Grown men can't come to a game and heckle grown men. That's corny and that's weak. You come into a game to heckle another grown man. You soft, you weak. Draymond this, Draymond that.
Yeah.
Like, you going to sleep as a grown man doing that to another person.
Yeah. I get that.
I'm not an animal in the zoo. Like, if I hear something, it's a break in between the play, I'm going to let you know how I feel about it. And they happen to catch it. But they got to protect the NBA brand, so they're going to have to find me for that because, everybody probably seen that it was on Bleacher Report and Barstool and all of these websites on Instagram. So a lot of NBA fans seen it, and the NBA like, all right, we got to protect the brand. We can't have our players fighting against the system like that or saying that to fans because they pay money.
Yeah.
So I got to watch my tone, but they don't.
But they can't. They can pay money.
I get it. They can pay money. That's a part of the package.
Pay money.
If you get in the floor seats, you can heckle a player, you can get beer, you can go get whatever you want. You got people that's going to come serve you, and you get close to the game. And on top of that, you get to say whatever you want to an NBA player at any time.
But you can't respond back.
Yeah. Oh, I'm going to pay $25,000. You know how much money that is to a normal person? Like a person that don't make this much money? That's life-changing.
Yeah,
and they just giving that up. I get it. I understand where we at. They can have that little quarter. But
you know what that is? It's all the narrative too. The narrative is like, oh, that's coming to like KD still, he still ain't right. He's not in a good space. He picked up and tech that game, And that's why I be telling you, because we'll be talking about, because, you ask questions. I say, look, KD, when you said that, this is how everybody else is thinking about it. They're thinking that this is a culmination of what happened a week ago. And, you just it builds the narrative. And I'd be like, KD, you probably shouldn't have said that. And you'd be like, man, why should I stop holding back feeling how I feel? Yeah, that's how I feel. Like, what? And I'm like, man, I think if you do it this way, maybe we can avoid some of this other stuff.
I've come to the conclusion that people hate the fact that I play for the Warriors, and people hate the fact that I'm so damn good at basketball. They don't like that combination. And so that brings out jealousy, envy, even if it's through comments or even if it's through, slick comments through the media or people testing my manhood on TV. They just cannot stand when somebody like me is so successful and doing it a way that they didn't want me to do it. Yeah. So it's not my fault when I say something you get in your feelings. Mm-hmm. It's that you got some underlying against me already. So no matter what I say or how I approach anything, it's going to be a problem if I don't agree with you because you just don't like me. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the facts. A lot of people want to say facts about me, but that's the facts. Like, you don't like that I play for the Warriors, and you don't like that I'm so fucking good at basketball. Mm-hmm. And you put those two together, and you get nothing but magic. And it's just basketball nirvana, and people don't like that. So they just jealous of what I got.
Are you?
And I don't mind calling you out on your bullshit.
Yeah, you will. Are you comfortable in that? Like, are you comfortable in that layer of that? You have been so-called
Yes, I've always been comfortable in that because I always knew what that hate was. Because I'm not the only person that goes on Instagram and leave comments under photos. I'm not the only person that does that.
Yeah.
I'm not the only player that screams at the fans. I've seen a lot of my peers say some wild stuff out there on the court and got fined for it, but I'm not the only one that do stuff like that.
Yeah. But
so I know what it is. Just tell me that you don't really fuck with me like that because I play for the Warriors and I'm nice at ball. Don't hide your hate and put it in other directions. Just say that. Then we can move on and life could be better and you don't have to call me sensitive no more because I just want you to I've been begging y'all to tell me why y'all really don't fuck with me like that. So I get it. Just say it.
And a lot, it is the Warriors. And it is
because I'm nice.
You're the
I'm nice.
Top two.
I'm nice. So people don't like those two together.
Long as you and so
you know that.
I'm saying you top two.
I'm just saying you know that they don't like that.
No, of course they don't.
Yeah,
it's been that way,
yeah,
and I think that's been a lot of concern. Especially when you look at a lot of Warriors fans, like, okay, is he going to, is that going to sway, his decision making later? The fact that because you have you've taken some heat, man. You've been criticized, man, and I look at the Instagram, man, and dude, I get heat from my profession, but it's nothing like you. So I couldn't even relate, and I do worry that or have concern of how certain players are handling that. Like how do you handle? Because I see you, like it looks like you don't hide from it. It looks like you look for some of that stuff. Like you made a comment on Instagram, recently about people trying to psychoanalyze. Like, do you try to avoid it? Some players I know try to avoid it. You don't even try to avoid it. Katie, you might want to avoid it, man. Just let it go. Why?
Why do I have to avoid it?
Because didn't you say you want to be in a peaceful place? You know what I mean? Full of tranquility. Like what? Why? You know what you bring to the table. You know you're one of the nicest guys in the league.
I know that.
Period.
Like I said, if what I say, my words, or what I do affects my peace and tranquility, then that's another thing. Like, but if somebody else is coming in and they trying to distract me from shit, like part of my peace is me telling y'all off.
Got you. Okay. You get comfort like that's
yes.
That's okay.
I get comfort in telling a grown ass man that he's acting like a kid.
I get it.
You know what I'm saying?
I get it.
Like, you need to be held accountable out here. Folks held me accountable coming up about what I said and what I did and how I acted. People need to be held accountable, especially if you're coming into my world with this. Mm-hmm. I didn't invite you here.
Got you.
You get what I'm saying? You decided to bum rush your way into this. Now you want to be here. Now you face to face with somebody that's going to tell you what you don't want to hear. Mm-hmm. Now it goes back to like, nah, you got to look yourself in the mirror at some point.
And I think that's where we come into play as far as like we've always had the perception of the top guys, these Hall of Fame, you're going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. We have a perception of these guys act this way towards criticism. And you're proving that you don't have to be that way or act that way and you're still comfortable in your own skin. Like that gives you peace. Like,
why do I have to be like Kobe and Mike and LeBron and Steph and Magic?
I get that.
Why do I got to have the same
that makes sense
personality or handle things the same way they do? We didn't grow up together. We didn't go through the same shit. We don't have the same parents. Like, we don't have the same situation. So why do I have to act like them in this setting?
Get that? That's fair.
Like, if you don't like what I do or what I say, stop talking to me. Mm-hmm. You don't have to talk to me.
Yeah.
You don't have to say anything to me. You don't have to worry about what I got to say. It doesn't have to be top of the news on ESPN or Fox or Yahoo. Shout out to Yahoo.
Oh, good. Appreciate
you don't have to talk about me if you don't like what I bring and like who I am. And like, so that showed me as well. It doesn't really matter what I like or who I am. Like, just like controversy. You just like whatever you like or whatever your program director tell you to write about. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? Like, you don't really care about me, so why should I care about y'all? And the fact that let me watch what I say so I don't make y'all uncomfortable. Like, So I don't care about y'all. Don't care about making me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So why should I? That's a part of me like, damn, like, I'm starting to really feel what this is. Like before I'm just like, let me, tiptoe around the people that are driving to come see us. Or taking time out of their day to report on us. Let me like tiptoe around them to make them feel comfortable. No way. Why do I got to do that? Please explain to me. Somebody explain to me why I got to do that.
I say
so they can watch our game more. Like the fans gonna watch if you just They know what they see out on the court. It's a prime product out there. I tell people all the time who hit me on DMs like, hey, the fans pay your salary. Without the fans, you wouldn't be nothing. I'm like, you sure?
Yeah.
You sure? Because y'all know you for a fact it's necessity now that y'all got to watch basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a fact that you can't go a full day without looking at a score or seeing what's going on around basketball. As much as you say, like, you need us. Like, no, y'all really need us as well. It's a 50-50 partnership, I feel like, when it comes to fans, media, players, coaches, GM. It's a 50-50 partnership. That's what it's supposed to be like. We all in this supposed to be in this together to help the game grow, to help the framework and the fabric of the game become bigger and bigger. But it's just so many inner battles in between in our culture that's spreading everything apart and watering down the game. It's to me.
I get that. Let me move on more on basketball real quick. What would it mean to three-peat? Like how big of a deal is that within the organization?
Just more so like, obviously we got a great opportunity to three-peat, and I think we should obviously go get it. Mm-hmm. But on an everyday basis, it's like, how can we build these habits up to just be in a position to win a championship? You know what I'm saying? It's not like three-peat. It's more so like, all right, every single day, let's just lock in and see how we can be the best version of ourselves today. And who knows, we might win another championship. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you approach it that way. There's less pressure you put on yourself, put on the organization, put on the team to be at that level every day, because that's unrealistic. But it's easier for us to come in and say, all right, all we've been worrying about is working today. Mm-hmm. And we don't know whatever happened yesterday or what's going to happen tomorrow. We can't really control. Let's just focus on today and see where it takes us.
Before the stuff happened with Dre, somebody asked me about, like, why are they playing so fun? And you guys weren't playing like that last year. Like last year, that was tough. Like, I know it was a struggle for you guys just to get through that season. For us, it was tough just watching it, because we all knew at the end of the day, I know the NBA doesn't want me saying this, but we knew at the end of the day, man, the regular season doesn't matter. You know what I mean? You guys just trying to get to.
It matters. It doesn't. You can't win. You just can't win a championship in the regular season, but it matters.
It matters to a certain, like, seeding didn't matter to you guys.
Yes, it did. It mattered. Like, we don't want to start off on the road.
You don't want to start off on the road, but at the same time, you guys are resting. Was resting a lot more the past year.
No, I wouldn't say we was resting just to.
Man, y'all was resting. You rested a lot more last year than y'all did in the other years.
You can say that.
Okay, and so seeding didn't matter. Y'all knew y'all could go on anybody's floor and take. Y'all had confidence. It wasn't cocky. Yeah, you had confidence. Y'all could
I wouldn't
do
say
that.
it didn't matter. We just had confidence.
That's fine.
That's better to say. We had confidence that we can go and win on the road.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like, so when y'all were just flying free through the season the first couple of weeks, I was like, this is what I said. And you probably said it was a stretch. I was like, you know what, man? KD's situation is unclear with, his future. Clay's situation is unclear with his future. Draymond, same with him. Maybe they're just, just playing this thing out, having fun, enjoying, each other while they can. Is that a stretch to say that?
No, okay.
Yeah,
nobody really bought up. I didn't really sense anything about our futures as I come into the gym every day. I never really, coming into the year, it wasn't never a topic in the locker room, or it wasn't any, like, underlying tension I didn't feel, because we were having so much fun. start the season, we started off with 10-1.
Mm-hmm.
Guys were breaking records,
Yeah.
making deep threes all game and
Yeah.
get the crowd into it. We was winning road games. So I just felt like we just were free, and like we finally hit a point as a team, as a group that been together after 2 championship runs where we just kind of know the flow and the rhythm of the team without really saying much.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We didn't have to talk to as much as we did the first few years. Like we just kind of knew just the fabric of the group without even saying much. And when Steph got it going, it wasn't like, yo, let's run more plays for Steph. We just was playing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He got it all in the flow. Same with Clay, same with myself. So I just think that comes from experience and going through different situations and being battle tested together that, like it is I hate to compare marriage to a basketball group, but like you can finish your wife's sentences a lot. Like that's how we play.
That's how it is.
Yeah.
There's no doubt that can return. Like that's.
Yeah, once we get our whole team back. See, our team is built off of we're machines. So we gotta have certain parts in our system for it to work the way you guys want to see it work, or the way like it's worked to be successful the last few years. We got Steph, who the difference between having Steph on the floor and the difference between me and Steph is like when a play breaks down, that's when you start to see who your best players are.
Mm-hmm.
So when the play breaks down, which is a team play, it might involve Jonas Jerebko and DJ, Damian Jones, and Steph, and me, and Draymond. But when that breaks down, all right, what are we going to do? Mm-hmm. We're going to throw the ball to Draymond, and Steph going to run off a couple screens, or Clay might run off a couple screens, then boom. Mm-hmm. That's what breaks teams. It's not get a ball to Steph and tell him to clear out and go to work, or get a ball to KD and tell him to go to work. It's the fact that we made you work for like 16 seconds trying to guard like 2 or 3 actions. You did a great job, but the last 8 seconds, you can't fall asleep on us.
Yeah.
Because I might get a mismatch that I like. Clay might get a wide open 3. Steph is going to come off 2 or 3 screens and get a wide open 3. And now with 7, 8 seconds left on the shot clock, we getting what we want. That's the mental part. That's what we testing people mentally out there on the court, because it's not the first 15, 16 seconds. It's that last 8 seconds that you like, damn, you got 3 options that can bail us out at this point from an offensive standpoint.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? That's what we missing a little bit without having Draymond out there, without having Steph out there. It's a little, like at the end of clocks now, you can lock in more so on myself and Clay a little bit. Easier than you did when it's Steph out there, when it's all of us out there. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's more those bad possessions than anything. When we can't finish the end of them, you know what I mean?
And that's what you were talking about. We spoke a little bit about that off the camera about ball movement, and ball movement really works when you have a lot of weapons, But when you have players that aren't go-to guys, you're not shifting the defense that way. And so sometimes you got to drop the ball to you and just go get it.
Yeah, I mean.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, we like ball movement, obviously, and I love ball movement. I mean, we still lead the league in assists, you know what I'm saying, like last couple of years, no matter what. And I've been on the team. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people say my ISO is
ISO's hurting
I'm taking less shots and averaging less points than I did when I was in OKC. Like, what do you mean my ISO game is?
You hear everything, man.
Yeah, I hear it all. Why not? What else I got to do? But the fact that when you move into basketball, you want to. So say if you're passing it from one wing to the next, you want to pass this. You want to shift the defense so you can get somebody in some space on the other side. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you want to be able to utilize your best players in positions where they're most effective. That's what moving the ball is. So if we moving the ball to a big player on the wing, the defense doesn't care about him on the wing. You know what I'm saying? We moving it to a threat. A guy that's a threat on the wing, like these defenses that's not a threat on the wing, these defenses are like, all right, if he catches it on the wing, don't worry about him.
Yeah. Sag off.
Help off. That's not where he's most effective. You get what I'm saying? So sometimes we might have to come down, let's get in the pick and roll, and then that's how we're going to create the 2-on-1s. You know what I mean? You get down, that's when you can throw it to the backside and you get Jonas a 3. That's how he's going to get involved. It's not going to always be from move side to side. Let's get 6 passes. Make sure we get 300 passes for the game. Like, we want to just shift the defenses. It might not take 6 passes to do that.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to ask you about, this is, I think this picture is downtown Oakland. Yeah, it is. Oakland Tribune building right there. Next year, Golden State's moving to San Francisco. I wanted to get your opinion on it, get your outlook on how you view this. Is that you went down there recently and saw the Chase Center, how things are evolving over there. How can you process that? Like when you don't really know you don't know what the future holds for yourself. How do you process that when you're going over looking at that arena and they're showing you, man, it's going to have this and that? Like, how you look at that?
Oh, I just take it for what it is. It's going to be a nice venue for basketball players to enjoy working every single day, and it's going to be great for the city of San Francisco and the Bay Area. And a lot of entertainers are going to come through there and bring a lot of energy through there. So you look at it just for the venue. I mean, I just looked at it as, man, this is going to be an amazing place for just everything. They building. It's going to be sort of like have the same feel as LA Live. So I started picturing, LA Live in San Francisco. In San Francisco. So I'm like, man, it's going to be, once it's finished, once everything around that whole area is finished, it's going to be booming over there. So I'm just looking forward to that.
Well, looking forward to that, huh? All right. Big recruit. It seems like the Warriors have a big recruiting thing going on this year. I know you told me, man, you don't want to go through no whole.
Man, ain't nobody can recruit me no more.
Why is that?
Because I want to dictate the environment that I want to be in. So it's just like, you can't give me the bells and whistles and be like, I'd rather see what you do on a day-to-day basis. Or like that stuff really doesn't impress me. Like arenas and doing extra just for me. Like, nah. I just want to see if you're a real person. If you're going to hold people accountable every day, are we going to all come to work and enjoy basketball every day? Yeah, that's exactly what I'm getting here.
So overall, your tenure here, everything, you're in a happy place?
Yes.
All right.
Yes. I won 2 championships. Like, I understand that. Why do people think I'm not happy?
Hey, man, things happen during the course of the season. And I tell people this. It's great that it happened in November. That's what I say. Long season ahead, but moods and things happen. So yeah, that's why some people have concerns.
I mean, I just look at it as like we all gonna have little stuff that may irritate us on a day-to-day basis, no matter where we work. And that's just human nature. And just because you make money and you do something that you love every single day, that doesn't mask any of that. It's just what you have. It's just like material. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm in a place where I'm thinking a little deeper now. Obviously, I like making money and playing basketball, and that stuff is sweet. But that's just a cherry on top. What's really important to me is just like keeping that peace and keeping that sanity as a person and growing and continue to mature as a person. And I happen to take that into being a basketball player. So, it's just all about that for me, relationships and people and just that pure love and joy for just life. I think that's what I've gained over the last few years more so than anything.
In my last few, KD, what would the addition of Demarcus, how would that, it's really hard for me. You guys are a fast-paced team, and so I'm interested in seeing how he's going to be able to implement his skill set into what you guys do. How is that going to work out?
We're going to have to slow it down some.
Okay. And that's okay?
Hell yeah, man. We got a player like that.
Okay.
You better adapt. That's what makes us unique and great players on this team. Like, we got guys that can adapt to any situation. So if we got to slow that thing down for a quarter and throw it into Demarcus and let him work and move off of him and play off of him, then why not? All of us can do it.
Yeah, you pros.
We pros and we smart basketball players, and we got a smart coach. And Demarcus is a high IQ player. He's a basketball genius, just like the rest of us. You know what I'm saying? That know the game. So, like, we're going to have to slow that thing down, wait for him to run up the court sometimes. And he's going to have to adapt to us as well. Like I said, it's a 50-50 partnership at all times when it comes to this. Like, you're going to have to come a certain way, and somebody's going to have to meet you there. Like, You need to bring the best of you, and he needs to bring the best of him, and we need to figure out how we're going to make that work. And I think we all can. Like, Demarcus is good in the pick and roll. He's good in the post. He can bring the ball up. And I know it's going to take him some time to get back into game shape, game flow. But if we can help him out as much as we can, I think he's going to be phenomenal for us.
What would this – I know you said you're thinking about the day-to-day process, but what if you did capture that third consecutive title? Have you thought about what that would mean for you or your legacy, the Golden State Warriors franchise?
I know for a fact that we'll all get our jerseys retired. We'll probably all get statues here in front of the Chase Center. We'll be Bay Area legends forever. Meaning that people will recognize this team and this run forever in this area. Steve Kerr is going to be immortalized. He's going to be a legend forever. Bob Myers as well. And Joe Lacob. Yeah, I mean, that's what I think about. And I think that's going to happen. I think about 50 years from now, when they have our whole team on the Chase Center floor, wherever the arena is at that point, and all the fans are going to be cheering for us and reminiscing on those days. All of them, good and bad days, even when me and Draymond went through.
That's what's up.
You know what I'm saying? That's probably the only thing I've been really locked in on when it comes to like three-peating. Like, I don't even want to look at it as three-peat, but I'm like, damn, we can do some like Joe Montana. Steph can be like Joe Montana, and what's the receiver that caught the pass? Dwight.
Dwight, yeah. Clark. Dwight Clark.
Yeah, and like somebody could be the Jerry Rice of this group. Like, I just think about because I know how deep the sports culture here is in the Bay Area. You know what I'm saying? I see Ronnie Lott, and he's like, people just start slobbering out their mouth when they see Ronnie Lott walking through. You know what I'm saying? Just the stuff that he did in this city, in this town for sports. And I'm like, yo, we got an opportunity to do something like that. Forget everything else.
That's what's up.
Let's just do that. Yeah. Because we're going to be legends here forever. Yeah. No matter how many points you score, how many MVPs or finals MVPs, that bullshit that they want to throw out. We are champs in the Bay Area forever. We're going to get statues and our jerseys retired. That's the coolest thing ever.
And you ain't going to never have to pay for a meal.
Never.
I mean, you don't pay
I'm at least be able to give me a free beer every once in a while when I come here. You know what I'm saying? I think, and the fans here, they embrace you so much when you don't even win. But imagine winning 3 in a row and you do something like that. You know what I'm saying? Man, I was talking to Clay about that. I was like, dog. And Draymond, I was like, yo, like, we all can get statues here, bro.
Hold on, clear. Make it clear. Talking to Draymond, this is after that's after the spat. You and Dre talking about statues. Or is that?
This was just
okay. General.
Just
right,
in general, just talking. And I'm just like thinking, like, man, that'd be sick. You know what I'm saying? Because when you think of the Warriors in this run, you're thinking of Steph, Clay, Draymond, myself, Andre, Sean.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, then you can throw in the JaVales, and you throw in the Zazas, and you can throw in now Quinn's. Like
David West, all
David
that.
West. Like, you just know the culture of this team right now. And it's thick in the Bay Area. Like, everybody knows us. And I think that's the coolest part about this whole thing.
I caught, I don't know if you know, I caught the first video of you and Dre talking going into the arena. Did you know that?
Congrats. That's what you want out of this?
I caught that.
Yeah, right? I caught that picture. Man, that was me. That's the problem.
That's what you were talking about. That's the ego. That's what you're talking about. Hey.
Y'all egos are too crazy, man.
You walk right by, I gotta catch a shot,
just
man.
Saying,
you walk right by, you gotta catch a shot,
man. If that's what you're telling me, that was my pick, fellas. Texting that to your homeboys and the group chat. Man. Yo, fellas, that's my photo.
Hey, I did put it on the ground.
Yeah, exactly.
I did put it on the ground.
That's the problem.
Now, when you moving on from this, you think that can galvanize you guys? Like, just this can be. Last thing people want to see in this organization is something deteriorating from within, because that's what the rest of the league wants to see. Is that something you think can make you guys stronger, or probably even build you and Draymond's relationship even stronger?
No doubt. I mean, when you go through some adversity in your personal relationships and you kind of lay everything out on the table with that human and that person, um, you start to just really get an understanding for everything, and I think that's only good for teams. That's only good for personal relationships when you start to bring up everything that you felt like you need to say that you was holding in. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we'll all do that at some point, not just me and Draymond, but I feel like just being with these guys for so long that you start to get comfortable with, like, I'm getting more comfortable with talking to Clay on that level now.
Yeah.
Same with Steph, same with Andre, same with Sean, because now I've been through the trenches with them. I've been through little stuff with them that we can talk as just like, forget teammates, but just as men that's going through the same things, that we can help each other and we can just we can build that friendship outside of basketball. I feel like we're all comfortable with talking to each other about stuff like that. And it's not just because of me and Draymond went through this or me and Draymond got this thing. Like, we always been two people that can talk things out and that can, we can understand each other on a different level. And I think that's only going through something like this is only going to have all of our teammates comfortable enough to talk to us about stuff like that.
So regardless of what was said, things went too far. You forgave him.
At that second, I was upset.
Is that right?
I was upset, but I know I can't hold on to something like this. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I know. Like, I got to make a choice in myself. Like, how long are you going to be upset about this? To the point that, are you going to let this affect what you do on the floor or how you approach the game? Once it gets there, now I got to make a grown man decision and tell myself that, like, look, man, no matter what, you still got to come to work every single day. It's going to work out. It's going to figure itself out. And I think everybody's been handling it the best way they could, and we're just trying to move forward with it. And I never really felt like it was a problem. You know what I'm saying? Because I know Dre, and he says some crazy shit out of his mouth all the time.
Yeah.
But it's just the fact that on top of that, it's just so much that was coming with it from the outside.
I know.
And so much stuff that we had to answer now.
That was the distraction.
Yeah, like, all right, how about after shooting around, after the game against Atlanta, I'm like, all right, I didn't talk after the game against the Clippers. During the game, I'm like, all right, fuck, probably going to have to say something about this. Why do I got to think about that during the basketball game?
Yeah.
And that's the fight I had to have. Like, all right, just not like focus on just playing.
And it was funny too, because I swear if we were just playing, if that was a comedic setting post game in Atlanta, you said something like, can we talk about basketball now? Talk about the game. I wanted to say nobody care about this damn game.
Yeah, I wish you'd have said that.
Nobody care about this damn game. It's Atlanta Hawks. Y'all should have beat them. Nobody care about this game.
That's the problem.
No. I knew you would have something smart to say.
I definitely would.
Oh man, my last question, KD. What's next? What's next from here? Like, what? You always talked about ownership, and you own an NBA team. You got multiple businesses here. You're investing in a bunch of companies here in the Bay Area. What's next in your empire with you and your business partner, Rich Kleiman?
I just want to make sure I get as much money as I can in my next deal.
Okay.
So I can stack up my money and figure it out. That's just the plan. Play basketball and stack money and figure out the rest. Who knows what business ventures I get into or what's next. You know what I'm saying? I'm developing some stuff right now that from the content side that we've been working on for a while that I'm sure you probably heard of, and the investor side. But like for me, I just want to make as much money as I can because they are giving us money to play ball.
Yeah.
So why can't I work as hard as I can to get the most that I can out of for myself? That's my main concern, and just seeing what happens after that. That's the beauty of this all, that I can just kind of sit back, play the game, and then figure out the rest of my life. And I'm stable enough financially to do so.
No doubt. I sure hope so.
If I wasn't, I'd be in some trouble.
You made it up.
I'd be in some trouble.
I want to put this out there real quick because I think this is really important. I asked you if you would come on my podcast. I was like, man, I want you as my first guest. He was like, I got you. Then that night, that stuff with Dre happened. So I'm like, oh shit, he ain't coming, man. He ain't coming. So check this out. So I'm trying. I'm being real. I'm being real open here. So the week goes on. You know, I follow you guys up to Houston, and I'm like, man, you know, I got my producers out here. Shout out to Lindsay. You know, she asked me, is Katie still doing this? Katie, I'm like, man, I'm like, this ain't a good time, man. This ain't. I don't know. I said, I'll fill them out. So I go to Houston, and you know, I chop it up with you a little bit in Houston. I'm like, hey, KD, you know, it's right before the game. Like, you know what, man? You said you come on Tuesday. You think that's right? But you be like, man, get the fuck out of here, man. I'm trying to focus on this game, man. I'm like, all right, well, just continue to think about it. But I want to give you, but I hit you up, you know, the day before this, and I asked, and you was like, no doubt. So, man, real talk, I appreciate that, man. You didn't have to. I would have understood.
You my guy, man, and like I said, we are here to work together for the good of the game. So I know that. And I'm not trying to have no thing with the media, but like I said, I am going to hold you accountable, especially if you're around me and I feel like you're on some bullshit. I'm going to hold you accountable because that's what this relationship should be like, especially when you're dealing with the best players, like y'all say, the best, the superstars in the league. I'm going to hold you accountable if you come with some BS and I got a relationship with you. That's just how I am. And if you want to frame that as anything else but that, then that's on you. No. But I got love for you, dog.
I appreciate that, G. Right back. I appreciate it, man. Yeah.